I'm about 4 to 5 hours into my playthrough of Pacific Drive, and currently I'm on this teeter-totter of loving the gameplay, but feeling a bit impeded by the world and mechanics around it. But will the desire to see the story through to the end help me get past those annoyances? Hey there, I'm CGDannyB, and these are my first impressions of Pacific Drive. Before we get started, huge shout out to Kepler Interactive and Ironwood Studios for providing me an early copy of the game so that I can give you my impressions today. And one more thing, don't forget to like the video or else both your front left and back right tires are gonna go flat in your car. And trust me, changing a tire IRL is nowhere near as easy as it looks in the game. And now, without further ado, let's talk about Pacific Drive. So if you're wondering, Danny, what is Pacific Drive? Well, let me tell you. Pacific Drive is a first-person survival game that primarily takes place inside of your beat-up old car. And one day, you venture into the Olympic Exclusion Zone, an area filled with supernatural dangers. From creepy, unexplainable creatures to dangerous weather, there's a lot of things that can get in your way. Luckily, you've got a few interesting people who would join you through the radio as you cruise through these dangerous lands. Some will sort of just bumble through giving you helpful advice, while another will give you access to her state-of-the-art garage to help you set up your vehicle to brave the elements ahead. So Pacific Drive is in this sort of interesting spot where it could almost be called a roguelike. Genres these days are quite the spectrum, so we'll just say it's a survival game that has roguelike elements and be done with it. Once you get through the tutorial, you'll begin exploring the world on your own in your hunk of junk station wagon. And hopefully you know how to actually drive, because you have to make sure to start the car, take it out of park, turn on the windshield wipers, and whatever else a responsible person with a license knows how to do. I actually just got the trophy for trying to start the car 20 times without taking it out of park. Whoopsie. Each run will start you in the garage that you'll use to repair and upgrade your car. Now to prepare these upgrades, you need to break down all of the scrap you can find out in the world during your adventure. From rubber to make new tires, to scrap metal to repair side panels and craft new doors. Every little bit of junk that you find in the abandoned cars or rundown houses is going to be important to making your vehicle as durable as possible. Now once you finish exploring and are ready to head home, you have to activate a gateway, which will fast travel you back to the garage to prepare for another run. But to activate the gateway, you need to collect anchors, these cool glowing orbs that you'll place inside your car that synchronize the connection to the teleporter. Or something supernatural like that? I don't know, it's a video game, I'm not questioning it. Now each gateway will require a different amount of anchors to open it. Some of them will simply only require one anchor to activate, while others will need quite a few more to get the teleporter up and running again. And trust me, I definitely wasn't confused about why I need so many of them until I went back and checked the review guide that I got from the developers. No siree, that's just not the case. Another important thing with the gateways is that you have to be so far away from one before you can activate it. And I get it, you don't want to just be able to drive to the gateway, hit go, and then succeed. Where's the challenge in that? You have to activate the gateway from outside the ring depicted on the map. Then race your way to the objective before the ring of radiation collapses in on you and destroys you, your car, and everything you've collected up to this point. Shrinking ring. Okay, sequel idea. 100 station wagons drop into an exclusion zone. Nope, no, okay, we're not feeling that one. Got it. Battle Royale, bad idea. Moving on. Okay, so back to the shrinking ring thing. I really enjoy this part of the game. I'd never say Pacific Drive is a chill and relaxing time, especially with everything lurking around ready to drag you and your car into a ditch or even flip you over like a ragdoll. But those fast-paced moments of needing to speed through the terrain and reach your safety point are thrilling and enjoyable. However, I will say the detriment to this is a combination of needing to go off-road to reach your location and a map that doesn't do a great job of depicting elevation. Prime example, my first gateway was in the middle of the woods. And with a basic starter vehicle, driving through the mud and up hills was nearly impossible. So I had to make this first attempt at least 3 or 4 times before I finally found a barely suitable way to make it through the portal. God, I just can't wait to unlock those off-road tires. Or even on another section of the game that has a lot of underpasses and tunnels. I activated a gateway and drove straight to where I needed to go, except that the portal was outside of the tunnel, so I wasted most of my time driving through this underpass to eventually get trapped in the storm and lose all my loot. And I say all this not because I don't like the challenge of losing all my stuff. Not because I want the game to handhold me, but because I have resources that are supposed to be there to help me succeed, and I often find that they cause me more trouble than assistance. Almost think of it like a TV show you're really enjoying, you're loving the characters, the story, everything else, but your mom's watching with you and she won't shut up and talks over it, or the dog is barking the entire time, so you can't fully immerse yourself in how much you would enjoy the show. That's how I'm kind of feeling right now with Pacific Drive. And no, my mom's not talking over Pacific Drive, I'm talking about the map stuff, but you get the point. Now, if the game is meant to feel frustrating like this at times, then they're nailing it. But from what I've played so far, there is a bunch of front-loaded difficulty that I could see turning gamers off fairly early into the adventure. I was also going to say something about the field of view while in the car. However, I did find a slider for that before writing this review, and that has been so much better for my experience. So, if your car feels a little too cramped, just bump those visuals up a little bit. Now, outside of the driving and racing for my life part, I've really enjoyed exploring the Olympic Exclusion Zone. Going from bunker to bunker to get scrap is an enjoyable gameplay loop that lets you peek under all these abandoned locations and see what you can call dibs on. Now sometimes you'll find doors that are locked behind a key, but luckily a handy dandy crowbar will make quick work of that door so you can go inside and raid somebody's old dresser drawers for a bunch of tattered clothes. What's that? You forgot to make a crowbar before you left? Ah, no sweat. Luckily, this station wagon comes with a pre-installed crafting table and storage units, so you can make the useful tools that you need while you're on your travels. Unlike most other survival games where you have to build your own base to return to, Pacific Drive makes it so your base is always with you. You can store stuff, craft stuff, upgrade stuff, and almost everything else that you need to do while on the road. And yeah, there's a garage of course, you'll need that for other stuff, but if you're lucky with your loot, you may be taking a very long road trip at Pacific Drive. I mentioned at the top of the video that I've got some strong likes and some strong dislikes with Pacific Drive so far. Now, for a little background here, I'm the type of person who can suffer through the growing pains of some games and still have an enjoyable time with it, even if I complete my time with the game before anything even changes. However, if you ask me, should I play this game, I'm going to tell you, I liked it, but just be aware that this, and this are all things that bugged me. And if they bug you too, you might want to pass on it. Now to clarify, I don't necessarily think Pacific Drive is a game to pass on. I actually think a lot of people are going to enjoy it, but I also think a lot of people aren't going to enjoy it. As it stands now, I would say that I am enjoying Pacific Drive, and perhaps I'll enjoy it even more as I continue to road trip through the Exclusion Zone, making my car even more durable and well-rounded. But I'm also prepared to find traversal more and more tedious as I go and not love what it's presenting to me going forward. But as of right now, I can't say for sure. Not until my tires spend more time kissing the blacktop of those contaminated old roads. But if you think Pacific Drive looks fun, you can jump into the game starting February 22nd on PC through Steam or the Epic Game Store, as well as on PlayStation 5. Let me know if you're going to pick up Pacific Drive on launch for yourself, or perhaps wait a little bit on this one. And lastly, if you want to stick around and see where my thoughts on Pacific Drive go from here, or just check out what other cool indie games I'm going to be talking about, be sure to subscribe for more indie gaming content. Thanks for watching.